Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Dude, Where's My Car? I almost just said Mount because that's actually a series from like 10 years ago or so. Anyways, this is a quick one. I am farming SM Armory with my main. You can actually see the druid on a different account. For my warrior, you may or may not know that this side of Scarlet Monastery has one boss at the very end of this short-ish dungeon. I mean, it takes about half an hour for me to get through on my own, just on my main, which is actually quite long, and I'm super mad right now because after this video is taking place, I actually tried to farm a couple of items. I was about to say that the boss of this dungeon, he only drops basically warrior items. He drops a cool helm, leggings, and a weapon. Actually, in the last episode where I was talking about the proc on the whirlwind weapon, actually that's not where it procs. It actually procs on the weapon. Whirlwind weapons don't have a proc. The weapon that drops from this instance, which is called Ravager, does have that whirlwind proc. And that's what I wanted to farm, and I did farm it. Actually, the second time I ran this dungeon after this video, Ravager dropped, and I'm like, oh, okay. But the problem is, I stealthed through. If you're a rogue or a druid, you can just stealth through dungeons and just kill the bosses, and then yippee yeah, you got the loot. Except if your other character, or if someone in your group is not close enough, or indeed didn't do any damage to that boss, they don't get the group loot pop up. So that means you have to go back and clear all the way up to the boss, and I really dislike doing that, especially dungeons like this one, where a couple hours before I started recording this one little video, the other parts of Scarlet Monastery were pretty easy. They weren't too bad. They were a breeze, except for this one fucking mob. Sorry for my French, pardon me French, but there's a mob which deals insane amounts of damage, physical damage, mind you, and it pisses me off how basically in classic WoW, in vanilla WoW, or older variations of the game, you could go to fucking Ragefire Chasm, the easiest dungeon in the game, as a level 60 or a max level, and you could die from physical attacks because they don't seem to miss you at all. It's not like newer versions of the game where they always miss you. On the other hand, if I were to fight only mage enemies, for instance, there's this mage enemy in this dungeon. Spells can never ever hit you if you're higher level. Your resistance is so fucking high that they can never ever hit you. Whereas melee attacks, as you can see, I'm losing a ton of damage, a ton of health. And what actually happens is I have to clear pack by pack, and it's so long, so very long. If there's more than two enemies, I just have to use my warrior, and I use my warrior. It's pretty useless. My warrior has a free. It has a fear, a mass fear, but it's on 3 minutes cooldown. It's horrible. That's about all I can do to protect my main. And you can see I'm switching back. I have two monitors, switching between the warrior and the druid. But yeah, it's super annoying. And then later on, this first section is not too bad. You have these protector guys. One of them just died. That is basically a healer. Super annoying because I have 0 silences. I have a stun in bear form. My warrior doesn't have pommel yet, which is really needed. I feel like pommel should be an ability that you get at level 1 or like level 4 or something, you know, because everything just heals or costs something, and as a warrior you can't do anything unless you are in defensive stance and you have a shield and you can shield bash. But yeah, I'm super mad. I got the Ravager. And by the time I got to the boss, I did all that clearing for nothing because the boss despawned. And nobody has any idea I asked people, but nobody has any idea as to what the actual despawn time is for mobs that have actually loot. Because things that you have looted, the corpses, they despawn. If they contain loot, then they despawn, not respawn, despawn over a longer time. So you have more time to go back and loot if you want to, right? Well, yeah, this happened multiple times, and I thought, what I would do is again sneak back in, kill the boss. But instead of killing him in the room, I would leave him at like 100 HP and then run back using dash to the entrance and then kill him there, and then my warrior can get the loot, or I don't have to at least clear as much even if I die. But every time, even with dash, the fucking trash would just daze me. It didn't matter how much I was running. It didn't matter how much time I spent, like, even if I was playing perfectly, at the very end of the dungeon I would just like get butt fucked because everything pulls around you if you are in combat. And so I lost out on 2 Ravagers and a pair of Pents. Yeah. I just quit because I just kept dying. Ravager dropped just now as well. But no, there's no way I would have made it either way. And it's horrible because yes, I could have, like, in the time that the time I spent wasted, guys, doing all this like shenanigan niche play shit, I could have just cleared up to the boss and probably would have gotten Ravager. But the thing is, since I've already gotten in this run that you are seeing, I got the pauldrons, the shoulder pads. I didn't wanna clear all the way up to the boss and then having the shoulder pads drop again. I would have been so mad if that happened. But I guess it's worse this way. And these are the problems. The main problem in this dungeon. At least oh my god, it would be impossible to do this if these enemies were the monk enemies that I told you about in the other sections. They just do so much damage. But these Myrmidon enemies, they also do quite a lot. Kind of like Fury Warrior type of enemies or Rogue enemies, right? And they enrage and everything. If I were to pull 2 packs, I would die. There's no other. I just have to pull pack by pack and be really, careful because there are these enemies that go between pack and pack. The wandering ones. So yeah, I didn't have a good night. And not to mention this whole like Scarlet Monastery shenanigans started after, like, yesterday. I started sleeping really badly lately. Right now it's 6 a.m. by the way, and I'm recording this commentary. Yesterday I woke up at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. in the afternoon. And I've been doing this, I've been waking up at like 4 p.m., 3 p.m., 2 p.m. Like every day it's getting worse and worse. And yeah, I woke up then. A couple hours after that, at like 10 p.m., I got really tired. I did clear the first 2 instances of Scarlet Monastery. I just couldn't be bothered to do anything. I fell asleep, and when you feel really tired, but then you wake up like 2 hours after, and then you can't do anything with yourself. Yeah, that's what happened. And I was like, I know I'm not gonna be able to sleep. I might as well just like try to give Armory a go. So much shame and guilt. So very annoying. I really wanted that weapon. I might still get it. I'm probably gonna like, because what happens is if I start losing in any sort of game, any sort of video game, I just cannot let it go. I just have to keep playing until like I start winning. But then when I start winning, I kind of want to quit, if that makes sense. If I'm playing like an FPS game, or when I used to, I don't really do them anymore. I would have to I used to quit when I was doing really well, so I could, leave the game with a good conscience, so to say. And that's what I'm feeling right now. I have a bad conscience about this whole thing, so I have to do this until I get it right, and I'm probably have to. At this point, I'm probably just gonna have to clear up to the boss. Waste like 30 minutes to 40 minutes clearing up to the boss, and then risking that he drops the fucking shoulders again, or not the weapon, basically. I don't think anyone wants to help in the guild. They, I don't think they know me that well. There's one guy that I actually enjoy talking to quite a lot, but he might be off because his PC broke. I don't know. What I'm saying is I have to do this all, all on my own. There's not really any external help. It wouldn't be that. I mean, and it's so very very annoying, because if you imagine that my warrior was, I don't know, a rogue or another druid, I could literally just stealth through and then be okay. There was another tactic that I tried where my warrior ran through half of, like, not half of the instance, but a couple of rooms, and then I rebirthed him. But the problem is druids can only resurrect once every half an hour. It's a combat res, and not only that, but it was on cooldown for like 24 minutes after Ravager dropped, and I'm like, there's no way. Like 24 minutes. By that time, the boss is just gonna despawn. There's no way I can try the tactic. And then there was a problem where dying to all those fucking monks in the other side of the instance made that my armor was broken. Had to go back. I came back, and it's so long. It's so long because I have to, on my warrior, I have to run all the way to Undercity. Could have ran to Brill, but I wanted to give in the quest, and I wanted to take out the trinket for my druid that increases your movement speed to try this shitty tactic again. But as you can see, these like evoker mobs, 100% health. They can't even touch me with their spells because spells have such a massive resistance. And actually, what actually happens is, if you are playing a character like a mage, a warlock, anything that does purely spell damage, and I don't know, you want to kill someone or something that is quite higher level than you. Like maybe you are level 30, and then there's a bunch of you guys in a group or something, and then a level 40, 50 comes to gank you. As a warlock, as a mage, you can't really do anything because all of your spells are gonna get resisted. On the other hand, if you are playing a physical class, warrior, rogue, druid, etc., you can actually deal quite a lot of damage to those higher level people. And it's surprising because on retail WoW, not sure about nowadays, I know they changed it in like Legion or Battle for Azeroth, where it's a bit buggy now. But if someone is like 10 levels higher than you, you cannot even touch them as a melee, because all they're gonna do is dodge and you're gonna miss every single attack that you have. Not the case in vanilla WoW if you're a melee person dealing physical damage. A bunch of you guys can just take out a higher level player even. Yeah, you aren't gonna miss that much. So yeah, we are next to the boss. A little bit about the tactic if you want to do this solo, etc. This boss does a fuck ton of damage, physical damage. He's like a warrior type of boss, and then every like 15 seconds he does an AoE, so you have to get out of the way. And you're gonna see it was a bit hard. This was the first time I did it, so obviously there's gonna be a couple of mistakes, but I didn't die. I healed myself up. My warrior almost died. And it's quite hard because I'm controlling two characters, right? So I have to run away quite fast with both at the same time. Imagine that. So yeah, I did it in bear form, but I would recommend cat form, to be honest, because look how much damage I'm taking, and he is critting me as well. 114. When he's critting, he's like 200. Oh, and I realized, by the way, that I'm still getting hit there with the AoE, even though I'm nowhere near the boss. There's like, I don't know, like a 30-40 yard radius around the boss where he does damage. So you have to get out of the way, and it's quite buggy as well. Where in WoW, if you are standing like a little bit higher, like on the edge, on the couple steps higher, you see those stairs. It doesn't actually hit you, so you can cheese it a bit. And I also found a way where, like, I'm in cat form. Whenever he does that shit, I go out and I heal myself. What I also do is I run up the stairs, so he has to follow me up. And by that time, I'm regenerating energy. You can do that. It's kind of like hamstring dancing as a warrior, but you just like run up the stairs as cat and then wait for it to follow you up. So yeah, done. Wanted to record this video, at least something, at least I can do something productive and stop feeling sorry for myself and complaining. So yeah, warrior looks pretty ridiculous. Hope you enjoyed this little commentary chill video, and bye bye.
What brings you to visit lonely old one, Sam?